Um, I originally wasn't going to post today. Um, I've got a migraine going on. I haven't had a migraine in quite a while. Um, I've recently been seeing a neurologist. He put me on some meds. Everything was under control. For whatever reason, today is a migraine day again. So, fucking awesome. I used to get migraines basically every day. I would have like a couple hours of relief, and then I would just get another migraine. But the whole point of this YouTube channel is to show, to enlighten, explain, educate everybody who doesn't know what it's like living with these different kinds of things, so they can kind of try to understand what it is that, people like us go through. So this is me with a migraine. Migraines are a lot worse than just headaches. For one, your brain just stops functioning. That's why I'm talking a little slower today. It's really hard for me to focus, but it's important that people see this. Tylenol, Advil does sweet fuck all. It's honestly not even worth trying. If this gets worse, I am going to end up in the hospital again. The good side of having migraines so frequently is the hospital and I have a bit of a routine. So usually they see me, we do the usual checking in, and then they hook me up to an IV, and I'm in and out usually within about 2 hours if they're not busy. So, I mean, there's a plus side, right? Migraines affect more than just the person that has to live with them, live with the pain. There was this news article, it hits really close to home. I'm not going to mention any names. If you guys want to look up on this, read it yourselves, you can type it into Google. There was a gentleman who had a 19-year-old daughter who suffered from chronic migraines as well. He couldn't stand seeing her suffer. It's his baby girl, essentially. So his solution was to kill her. I mean, honestly, there have been days where I have begged my boyfriend to do the same for me. He wanted to stop her suffering. So he did. And then he killed his wife and his wife's sister because he didn't feel like those people, that his family should have to live with the shame of what he had done. He confessed it in a Facebook status. And then he killed himself. Migraines, they're not just headaches, they're not just excuses. They dictate our lives. They really do. We can wake up feeling completely fine, and by lunchtime, any plans that we had made, we need to cancel because we hurt. Depression is the same way. I can wake up and I can feel like conquering the world, and by the time I'm finished rinsing my hair in the shower, I can feel like crawling back into bed and saying, fuck it, I'm done. You don't have control. You don't. Which brings me to a topic that I really wanted to touch base on today. A lot of people, and I'm not judging, I have a different viewpoint. A lot of people feel very empowered when they say that their mental illness doesn't define them. And if they feel that is true for them, then that's obviously badass, right? If you can exist outside of your mental health issues, if you can exist outside of your chemical imbalances, outside of your personality disorders, outside of, your limitations, that's fucking awesome. And I applaud you. Like, honestly, I do. Um, but for me, that's not true. It's not. My inhibitors, I guess, they do define me. My migraines do define me. My personality disorder does define me. My depression does define me. I have never been without borderline. I've never existed without borderline. I don't know who I am without borderline. My borderline was developed at a very young age as a defense mechanism. I've never existed without it. I have kept that up until about now, and it's just now that I'm discovering who I am without it. So for me, I mean, yeah, it is me. I am it. We coexist together. I don't know who I am without it. And same with depression. I mean, depression has always defined my life. It has defined what hobbies I do or don't do. It has defined the social circles I take part in or don't take part in. It is, it has been as much a part of my life as I have been a part of my life. Like, it does define me. And I think that's really important to embrace instead of trying to fight against, instead of trying to fight against it as if it's, so terrible to have something define you. I mean, go with the flow, right? Like, I have depression. I have a personality disorder. I have migraines. I take like a million freaking medications. I don't know if you can see all of those, but there's some really fun colors in there. Like, this is my lifestyle. This probably isn't going away anytime soon. This is going to be my lifestyle for the next very long time, and I don't think there's any shame in that. I think if I can learn to live with my depression and give myself permission to coexist with it, then maybe that'll help me feel better. Maybe that'll help me heal, so to say. You know what I mean? Instead of guilt tripping myself because I'm canceling last minute plans with friends for, the 17th time. Maybe I can just be at peace because you know what? It's part of who I am. And if I'm making friends with the type of people that don't understand that part of me, then I'm making friends with the wrong people. To be honest, like, anybody who wants to get close to me, anybody who wants my presence in their life, needs to understand that I'm going to cancel last minute sometimes, probably even most times. Anybody who wants me in their life or wants me to help them with fundraisers and volunteer stuff and things like that needs to understand that I have a personality disorder. I am still learning what words mean to me. Just because you know what a word means doesn't mean I know what it means. I'm still trying to comprehend how everybody else views the world. So there's going to be some friction. And if you're not going to be calm and patient with me, then you're not my friend, and that's okay. Like, I don't need to be friends with everybody. Not everybody needs to be friends with me. I just feel like more people need to be okay with giving themselves permission. And if you're hanging out with people or surrounding yourself with people that aren't making you feel like you can give yourself permission, you got to surround yourself with better people. And I know that's not going to be easy because, you know, you have school, you have work, like some of these social circles you're just stuck with. And that's why we need to talk about this. That's the whole point of this channel, is to talk about this. I mean, mental health is like an invisible illness. It really is. It's, you know, it's something that we hear over and over again, but nobody seems to actually understand it. When you cut your finger off in wood shop, you're sent to the hospital and you're probably allowed to take a couple days off school. Like, fuck yeah. But when you've had a sleepless night because the voices in your head won't shut up, like, nobody gives you any understanding or any sympathy, or, you know, nobody tries to understand. It's the same fucking thing. Like, just because you didn't see me go through it doesn't mean I didn't go through it. Just because my finger was reattached and you didn't see me chop it off in the first place doesn't mean it didn't happen. Like, I don't see how so many people in this day and age can be so ignorant, so willfully ignorant. We literally have mini computers in our pockets at all times. And if they're not in our pockets, it's because they're in our fucking hands. Because we're, you know, Facebooking and sharing pictures of cats, and, you know, that's all fine and dandy, but honestly, you can suck a guy's dick, but God forbid we talk about mental health for like 10 seconds. It baffles me. Honestly, that baffles me. We got kids squirting Tide Pods into their mouths. And we're not going to talk about suicide, or, you know, how to actually help people or anything like that. And, you know, back to that story that I opened with, it might seem a little drastic, that a father would kill his own daughter all over a stupid migraine. But if you've never had, I mean, day after day after day of migraines every fucking day, and you only get maybe an hour of relief if you're lucky, I have literally begged my boyfriend to kill me. I have begged. I have been in the hospital in tears day after day. I have gone to my doctor and told him, you either fix this or I will. Like, you don't know what it's like. And at least for my migraines, it hurts to breathe. Do you know what that feels like? It physically hurts my head to breathe. The one thing that your body is supposed to do to help keep you alive. And my body is hurting me to do it. Like, moving, it feels like somebody has taken a slap shot to the side of my head. Like, I'm not fucking joking. It feels like there's this like numb, searing, cold, hot, like all the feelings are usually at the one side of my face. And all I can do is just, it's a silent scream. Like, it hurts to even express the pain. I 100% sympathize with that man. I know what it's like. I mean, what he did was wrong, yeah, but I sympathize with him. My boyfriend has had to watch me for almost 2 years lay on that couch, drugged out of my fucking mind just so I can sleep. Because if I'm sleeping, at least, the pain is sort of dulled. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit far away. But as soon as I wake up, the pain is back. So you just keep giving me the drugs, keep letting me sleep it off until eventually, maybe a week or two later, it'll finally be gone. And in the meantime, he'll wake me up every few hours and, try to get some liquid in me, try to feed me something. It's bad. Like, your eyes feel like they're on fire. And I always try to put some eye drops in because I swear to God, it feels like they're on fire. I'm like, nothing helps. So why is it okay that I can go to work and say, hey, I have a migraine, I need to go home, and they're like, okay, no problem. But when I say, hey, I think I'm gonna slit my wrist, like, I think I should go and talk to somebody about this, I get responded with, well, we're kind of short-staffed, like, do you think you could just kind of, like, stick it out a little longer, see how you feel later? What is the difference? Either way, this is an invisible illness. Like, you can't tell me one way or the other whether my migraine is true or false. You can't tell me one way or the other if I'm feeling truly suicidal or not. Just because you understand one more than the other doesn't mean one is more valid than the other. All you need to do is ask questions. It's 2018. It's time we started asking questions. It's time you started being curious, being open, educating yourselves. It's remarkable how many social media groups there are about educating and about spreading the word and about sharing. And those groups are full of people like me, people that want to share, but they're not full of people that want to be educated. It's bullshit, honestly. And what I find really cynically hilarious is when you always read, after somebody commits suicide, you always read, oh, so and so was so, happy and always seems so full of life. I never would have guessed. Well, did you ever fucking sit down and talk with them? And I don't just mean, hey, how's it going in the hallways? I mean, did you ever sit down and talk with them? Did you ever sit at the lunch table eating a sandwich and talk about things that mattered? Not just the school dance or whatever fundraiser is going on. Like, the signs are always there. Always. You just don't want to see them. The signs are easy to see. A lot of the time, the signs are easy to see. Whether somebody is happy and bubbly or emo or scene or whatever the fuck classification that is. The signs are usually right in front of you. You don't want to see it. You would much rather give a speech about how heartbroken you are than actually do anything. You'd rather sit on your ass at home and pray than actually drive to their house and chit chat. You guys suck. Like, And then what's really funny is like a lot of people that commit suicide are people like me who nobody else is reaching out to us. So then we have to reach out to other people like us. And then we end up taking on their problems and they end up taking on our problems. And then we end up in this big problem pot and we all feel so overwhelmed. And then we start feeling guilty about our own problems because, well, so and so has it so much worse than I do. So now I'm a piece of shit because I'm, griping over my teensy tiny problems when this person obviously has it so much worse. So, I'm a spoiled brat. And then we start feeling guilty about our problems. And then they start feeling guilty because of their problems for the exact same reason that I'm feeling guilty about my problems. And now this vicious cycle is just making us feel worse for the opposite reasons that we were feeling bad in the first place, which just makes us feel more suicidal. We try to help each other because you won't help us. We're the worst people to help ourselves. We really are. We are like when you are right-handed, but your right hand gets broken. So you try to do everything with your left hand, and it's just a fucking mess. Like, you can tell the intention was there. You can clearly see that the effort was put in, but like it's a fucking mess. That's what it's like when we help each other. Like we can only do so much for each other. But it's still a mess. And the mental health system, it only goes so far. Like there's upwards of like an 18-month wait list. And personally, I have been told, you're too pretty to be depressed. You're too young to be depressed. It's just a phase. Really? Because I've been cutting myself since I was 14. So, I mean, like, it's not really a phase if it lasts that long, is it? Give me a fucking break. I'm not that stupid. And even when we do finally get in with a therapist or a counselor, somebody who does think they want to help us. That's how I'm going to phrase it. They think they want to help us. They've maybe read a little bit of our file, maybe they've talked to our family, but they've already got this preconceived idea of who we are before they've even read what our name is. So now we walk in, we sit in this chair, and they've decided what we are. For years, I was told that I was bipolar. And for years, I was like, no, I'm not. Like, that just doesn't feel right to me. I don't know what I am, but I can tell you I'm not bipolar. So, like, you need to pull your head out of your ass for just a second. Like, how about you listen to me instead of the people around me that are trying to fit me into a square that they understand? Like, maybe I'm a motherfucking triangle. Did you think of that? So yeah, like even once we get in, they're trying to tell us, oh, you're not depressed, you're just a teenager. You're just angsty. Like, the fuck am I angsty about? Like, really? I just want to sit in my room, be alone, listen to music, and read my fucking Harry Potter books. Like, what part of that is angsty? And then you finally get in to see somebody like a psychiatrist. I saw a psychiatrist and it was literally a 2-minute meeting. I'm not even fucking with you. He sat me down, asked me a couple of super quick questions, and I answered them, and he was like, great. Here's what you are. Here's your prescription. I'll see you in 3 months. And I'm like, what? Well, what is BPD? And he's like, look it up on Wikipedia. Okay. Bye? He's like, yeah. Receptionist will schedule you. Bye. Okay. See you. Like, that makes me feel so taken care of. You're so sweet. Oh man. Yeah. Our mental health system, guys, like, they're not gonna fix themselves. They're not. We need to just, I think, realize that and understand that and become at peace with that. So it's up to us. It's up to our community. It's up to the village, right? It takes a village. It's up to our village to change it. And I'm not saying it's up to, everybody. But for all of those people that keep posting those stupid statuses that say, if you ever need to talk, I'm here for you. If you're going to keep posting that shit, I expect you. The next time somebody is posting a cry for help, I expect you to get off your fat, lazy ass, find them, and help them. That is what I expect. And if that is too much for you, I sincerely hope that your belt loop catches on every single fucking door handle you ever walk by in your life. That is what I wish for you. Oh, anyways, I think I am done my rant for the evening. I also think I'm going to go lay on a heating pad. And of course, comments are always welcome. Suggestions are always welcome. Yeah, hit that share button, honestly. People need to start talking about this. This is important to me. I am sick of the shit that we talk about online, but nobody talks about this openly. It's about time. It is long overdue.